Hey folks, and welcome to this Video Song Frontier video. My name is Jay Wakefield, and today I will be getting onto the main content of this video soon, but before that I wanted to just kind of chat to you a wee bit about the weather. Now, as you can see, there's quite a bit of snow on the ground. Okay, not as much as winters from the days of yore, but still kind of enough. Yeah, just got wet. The thing is, Aberdeen, over the past week, I mean today is January the 8th, and shouldn't be stood here really. I should be stood a wee bit farther out because I'm just getting all the water dripping down from the drains. But Aberdeen has basically been, well, the whole of the UK in fact has just been in the grip of floods since basically Christmas time, and Aberdeen really kind of suffered a bit last night. It was just total chaos. I mean, the trains were not running, roads weren't running, and to top it all off, there was a hole on the runway at Aberdeen Airport. So that was shut down. So quite entertaining. My MP couldn't get home. Bit of a shame, really. But yeah, hopefully she's managed to find a way back to Scotland today. I'd hate to be stuck in London. Ugh. But yeah, I mean, the Dawn's burst its banks, the Dee's burst its banks. So many people have lost a lot of stuff. It's really, it's been really quite bad. And it's so far here it's not been bad because, you know, I'm quite high up, and you know, I am on a wee incline, so it's you know, the weather's not too bad. And today we've actually had sun for the first time in over a week, and it's not actually raining or snowing or anything right now. I mean, the dripping that you can hear is, like I said, water coming, you know, off of the pipes up. But the thing is, it's it really is you know, people being housed everywhere, like, you know, Rose Hill Community Centre. You know, it's got a lot of people being housed there, but you know, the local community's turned out really well. Like, you know, people have been saying if you need a place to stay, or if you need to drop your kids off, what have you, then that's you know, well, you go and check on flooded houses, what have you. That's absolutely fine, and it's been quite an undertaking, and you know, the community, especially here, have really turned out. You know, I take my hat off to them because, you know, they've really kind of turned out to help each other. It's very nice to see that. Apparently we're in for more weather. Apparently the winter's going to turn really, really cold, and there's going to be light snow until March. But then again, that was written in the Express, so I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. And because honestly, I mean, the Express does nothing but propagate bullshit, if I'm honest. As do a lot of rags, both left and right wing, I might add. But I mean, there's been choppers flying overhead, but I've not heard hiding ahead of a hairy plane. Probably because the runways, yeah, probably because there's a hole in the runway, dear laser, dear. And yeah, but I mean, I'm hoping, you know, obviously I'm hoping that this, you know, kind of dies off a wee bit, because, you know, people in the whole of the UK, I mean, a lot of people have just lost everything, while the government, oh, here we go, Jay, we're going to get political again. The government have cut back on flood defences, you know, and instead of actually having a sensible debate on it, David Cameron was quite happy just to kind of totally troll the hell out of Jeremy Corbyn, going, "Oh, you can't run a cabinet, you couldn't run the country," and then throwing Shakespearean quotes at him, just being a total, to use an LML3 Sansui 350-ism, David Cameron's been a total douche canoe. But then again, when isn't he being a douche canoe? Seriously. But I mean, yeah, the roads are probably going to get icy, the pavements are going to get icy, and they don't grit the pavements around here. They don't grit pavements. Aberdeen sold off all their gritters in 2009, right before that, really kind of brutal winter hit. What the paper's called the big freeze. But people were just kind of trapped in their own houses, and I can't get about on ice. I've got really bad balance, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be really difficult to get about. So, but I mean, really all I can offer to the victims of floods is IT equipment, which I'm sure that is the last thing on their mind at the moment. But, I'll do my best when they're ready for it, I mean, everyone's got to pull in what they can. So, that's a bit about how the weather is doing, and, I thought probably best just kind of film this short wee bit, just to kind of, at the time of recording, I'm actually not too bad. I mean, people have been texting me and what have you. Jay, has the flooding affected you? I'm okay at the moment, but my thoughts are with those that have been properly badly affected, because it really isn't a very pleasant experience. People have lost everything. A lot of people don't have insurance. In austerity Britain, I don't see them getting any help from the government anytime soon. And I don't care what David Cameron says, he's Billy bullshits all the time. Anyway, I'm going to go back in now because it's a wee bit cool. So it's 4:20 the next day, Saturday, January the 9th, 2016, and well, here's the rest of this video, which yeah, that just kind of went bash because I crashed into my own tripod. Anyway, so what we have here is the Dell Latitude C640. Now, some of you will remember I actually recently used this machine to review Thomas the Tank Engine, that Thomas game, which I wasn't very impressed with. And while doing so, I don't know if I commented but on the performance, but I found the performance of this laptop to be extremely abysmal. It's got a mobile Pentium 4 1.7, I believe, gigahertz processor. It could be a 1.6. And it has 512 megs of RAM. Now, in the future, I do plan to upgrade that to a gigabyte and the processor to around 2 gigahertz. But until then, I've decided to can Windows XP. I'm not going to go back to Windows 98. What I am going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and install Windows 2000. I have a Dell Windows 2000 disk here, which came with the 3800. So let's go ahead and do that anew. Right, this has not been plugged in. This has not been on for a while, so the battery has completely drained itself, and it had a wee. But it seems to be taking a charge now. I'm just going to Does this thing have Ethernet? I hope it does, because if it doesn't, I'll be really disappointed. And I'll write a letter, and I'll go, "Dear Dell, I'm really disappointed. This thing doesn't have Ethernet." Luckily it does, so I won't need to do that. Anyway, here we go. Switch it on. And before we do, whoops, never mind. Come on, Control Alt Delete. Oh, right. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, here we are, Windows XP. Yeah, this was totally planned. Horrible weather we've been having. Alright, okay, what I'll do is I will log it to Unity. I'll just shut down and... Oh, memory error. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll just refamiliarize ourselves with the specifications of this here Mooper. Okay, so it's got a... Oh, it is a 2 gig. When did I install a 2 gig in here? Oh well. Actually, I think I remember doing that. Jings. 512 megs. Actually, no, it's got 768 megs of RAM at the moment. I knew that. ATI Radeon 7500, 32 megs. I mean, that's going to be quite useful. And a 40 gig hard disk. So, you know, until I can get a gig of RAM, I think what I'm going to do is we'll just install Windows 2000 Professional. So, preparing the first time boot menu. Alright. So, as you can see, Windows 2000 setup is loading up. And it's just going to take a wee while, as these things usually do. Hopefully not that long. But I mean, where this kind of struggles a bit with XP, this should absolutely fly along under Windows 2000. And hopefully we'll support the wireless card in this thing as well, I hope. And I'm still going to install the same software like WorkSuite 2003 because it'll run. Anyway, so here we are. Let's do this. Now, a lot of people back in the early 2000s, while Windows XP was still kind of, let's say it was still kind of, you know, learning how to take its baby steps. A lot of people did prefer to use Windows 2000. They found XP to be quite heavy and, you know, not fully compatible all the times. You know, so a lot of people just stuck with Windows 2000 for the longest time. I actually had friends that did. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to full format this partition. But, so, and, Dell would let you specify machines with Windows 2000, I believe. I mean, I know people who will have done that. And my school actually didn't actually start upgrading to Windows 2000 until 2004. But then again, companies always do run behind. The only time I've seen companies actually take the latest version of Windows was when Aberdeen University upgraded from Windows XP to Windows 7 back in 2010. Yeah, it'd been out a year, but it was still pretty recent. But then again, would you upgrade to Vista on a business mooper? Don't answer that, because I know some of you would. Anyway, I'm just going to let this tick over nicely, and I will be back, I think, once we're in the GUI portion of setup. So now we're in the GUI portion of setup. And I dragged myself into a game of Colin McRae. So you're probably wondering about, these videos that have appeared on my channel. Well, basically, I had them there and I just thought, well, I'll release them. So, obviously time has elapsed. I've installed Windows 10 on my ThinkPad, and on my main machine, I've got some of the components have been upgraded and what have you. And it's obviously no longer in the Alienware case. But you may also realise that some of my videos are missing. All the ones specifically all the ones that show computers running Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009. Again, there's a good reason for that. There has been issues, some users actually getting videos taken down by YouTube that have Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009. For copyright infringement, people have been getting copyright strikes. I know my friend IBM ThinkPad R51 down in Australia, he has had he's actually got a copyright strike on his account because of that. And there's people even had their channels terminated, or so I believe anyway. Stop me if I'm wrong, but so yeah, just for the meantime, I've kind of, if we can get to the bottom of this and this, and stop kind of assaulting content creators in this way, then maybe I will re-enable them back on my channel. But just for the time being, I've taken them off my channel just while all this gets sorted. I hate it personally. You'd think that Embedded POS Ready 2009. It was copyright infringed on IBM ThinkPad R51's video because of the user interface, the look and feel. That's basically Windows XP. Okay, it's got a slightly different theme, but it's basically XP. Is that theme copyrighted? The theme that I'm pretty sure that any POS vendors actually switch off? I'm sure some of them don't, but a lot will. I just think it's greedy. A lot of people doing this, it's just, and making issues. It's like Nintendo. Nintendo don't want people playing their games. That's free publicity, guys. But then you have to register as a Nintendo content creator if you want to actually put Nintendo stuff up, and then they put you under all kinds of strict guidelines. Stop it. It's not fair. Okay, maybe I'm a bit extreme on the thing. I just really couldn't give a shit about copyright law. That is my honest opinion, because I think it's been so badly abused that I really don't care. I just don't care about copyright law. But I understand, about protecting intellectual property, but the way that content providers and IP owners are actually able to buy in laws, that does not sound like the hallmarks of an industry that really need all the help they can get in saving what little money they can. if you're able to buy in laws by your own government representative, you don't need revenue protection. And I personally will not respect you if you feel the need to have to buy in laws. That is not okay. Anyway, so what I've done, we've changed the keyboard layout in the system locale to United Kingdom. I'm just going to type in my name, company name. I'm going to have to put a key in. Done. Now I'll name this computer. Yep, good. I'll put an admin password. And we'll set the time. Just check the date. According to this, it's 5:10, but I think it's only the back of 5:05. That said, obviously on YouTube, on YouTube, I'm not going to be a total arrogant piece of crap and just be like, yeah, I'm going to use this music and that. But I think that is mostly because YouTube, and especially when you're monetized, you've got to be really careful on YouTube. And if you're monetized, I understand. I understand if you're trying to make money off of someone else's intellectual property, yeah, then obviously you should, if you're not kind of paying royalties for that, if you're making money off of that, then really you should be taken to task. It's not nice. But for me, it's when you have video games that you can't play because the copy protection stuff is failing, or you can't get online or whatever, and it locks you out of a game that you have paid good money for. Or, if you have had, if you're unable to activate Windows because you've had to reinstall it too many times, or something like that. Or, you're trying to watch a film, it's like I bought something back in 2007 off of Windows Media Player's music shop. And they actually closed down MSN Music, so I could no longer play. Oh, brilliant. I could no longer play this CD. I simply was not allowed to do so because, there was no server there to actually verify that I had, the right to actually do that. Anyway, we're on the network portion of setup. I'm going to set this up for use with my domain. Now, in order to be able to actually connect to my domain server, said domain server actually could do with, being switched on. So if you give me a second, guys, I will do that. I'll power the server on, and we'll see what's to do. As I'm sure some of you are aware, what I actually do is I run a Windows 2000 server within VMware, and that's got its own little subsystem which I run pre-Windows XP computers off of. And that's just a good way for me to be able to catch files and what have you and get them. Oops. Another thing that annoys me about copyright, though, is they get music, they get performers like Taylor Swift. She's like, oh, music should not be free. Music should be something that you have to pay for. And because of this, I'm taking all of my stuff down off of Spotify. Now, Spotify is free if you have the basic account, the free account, but it's ad supported. You've got an ad every 2 minutes, and you've got all sorts of stipulation. You only get a certain number of hours, and on top of that, you can only play certain songs as a limited number of times. I think it's 5. So that's not really free, is it? It's not really free lunch, is it? It's so I think I'm still waiting on the server, but I think that is pretty arrogant. Music should be something that you have to pay for. It's Spotify. You know, and then of course the UK government, who'd have thunk it, you know, re-illegalising, you know, actually re-enforcing the law that makes it illegal to format shift content, because the music industry lobbied so hard that they were just like, I mean, they finally brought the law up to date, you know, and was like, okay, well, you can copy CDs to your computer, that's fine. I mean, it's, why wouldn't you be able to? But now it's once again illegal because, you know, they're wanting to, you know, the music industry gets its way. Also with the whole thing about, you know, you can't take pictures of copyrighted images anymore. You have to have express permission, and if you don't get that, it might be really, you know, it's going to be really difficult. It's, you know, photographers are going to be, you know, have to pay for these licenses, and, you know, they could charge anything. You know, and this could be just as anything as simple as a chair or a table. I mean, it's like, look at my videos. Like, you know, I could be, you know, asked by the designers of this table, for example, that my laptop is switched on. My laptop is actually sitting on. I could be asked by the designers of this table, hey, look, you need to actually pay us for that. Or, you know, they could sue me. Or, you know, even the laptop itself. You know, if Dell were to be that way, they could be like, that is, this design is our intellectual property. You're going to have to pay us some money if you wish to use that in your videos. Similarly, you know, Microsoft with Windows 2000, they might actually turn around and say, well, look, you can't put this in your videos. And it just could get so, you know, things that might be in the background, like, you know, that, you know, like that Dell PC card, which likes to sit on my windowsill. You know, they could, you know, same thing. They could be like, no, you got to pay for that. So, yeah, intellectual property owners, they're just getting too greedy, and frankly, they don't have my respect when they're like this. Anyway, the domain is switched on. So I want to, do you want this computer to be a member of a domain? You may need to obtain this information from your network administrator. Yes, make this computer a member of the domain. Yep. So I've been asked to log in, so I will. Give me a moment to type the password. Again, there we go. Hopefully that will work. It's now hopefully talking to the domain and saying, yeah, this is a thing and this is logged in. Again, if I was to pass this off and say, look, I designed this laptop, I designed this table, I designed that PC card, and Windows 2000 is my intellectual property, then yeah, by all means, you have every right to sue me, and I don't have a problem with that. But I think, you know, fair use should be a thing. I mean, I want to sit and make a video about a computer. I want to make video about computer. This is an inside joke. LML3 Road Geek and Massa and I. But I mean, I just, you know, yeah, I just want to make a video about a computer, you know, and show people me doing stuff on the computer, you know, and I do credit, you know, I do hand out credit where it's necessary. Like, you know, I say to people, look, this is a Dell Latitude C640. This is Windows 2000 Professional by Microsoft Corporation. I have no idea who made this table. I just got it through Somebody Cares. And Dell made that, you know, that PC MCIA card is a proper, you know, the design of it is a property of Dell. And, you know, whoever came up with the PC MCIA standard, Texas Instruments? I don't know. Couldn't mind. I should know this. Probably said on the Computer Chronicles. So I think now we just have to kind of sit and wait here while Windows 2000 server over there is like, what are we doing? So we're at the finishing screen of Windows 2000 setup, completing the Windows 2000 setup wizard. You've successfully installed Windows 2000. No. You've successfully completed Windows 2000 setup. If you have a CD in your drive, remove it. Then to restart your computer, click Finish. I'll do that then. I just remembered my domain actually has a Pixie boot that could have installed Windows 2000 for me and sorted all that stuff out. Oh well. So now Windows 2000 is installed. So we're going to start it up for the first time. So it's taking a bit, but I think that's just because it's new. Well, it's a new install. Windows 2000 is not new by any stretch of the imagination. So, as you can see there, we have drivers that we need to install. And I'm surprised that the network card in this has been picked up by Windows 2000. I think that's pretty cool, because this machine is a lot newer than Windows 2000. Okay, so adding a user to the computer grants the user access to all resources on this computer and to shared resources on the network. Type your network user account information or type the account information of another user on your network. That's good. And I need that because I really want to be able to access this machine locally because, well, it's a laptop, so it's not always going to be on the domain. So I'll just type in my network credentials now. Actually, I thought that was a password screen, so that's fine. Okay, and I want to be an admin on this machine. That's absolutely fine. And then, there we go. So, now I just need to log in. Now if I click options here, I can either choose to log into this machine or to the domain. So if I just logged in to here, it would just kind of log me on locally. But what I want to do is log on over there. Now, I wonder if this is actually going to give... I wonder if this is actually going to load me as a roaming profile, because that's what normally happens on here. I don't want to do that, if I'm honest. I just... Yes, actually it is going to log me in as a roaming profile. That's what just happened. You know, mouse pointer is big. I mean, that is a good thing, but I mean, there's obviously shortcuts to programs that aren't installed on here. Now I wonder if I can change the user profile type from, yep, I can. Good. So I think do not have to log out and log back in again to do that. Applying your personal settings. I think this is probably kind of made itself. Yep, there we go. So I've got a local profile, but this is obviously here now. Anyway, what I'm going to do is hopefully, if I know what's good for me, we have no, I don't have that, do I? Don't have the stuff for the C640 on here. That's okay, because that's what the domain is for. I'll just copy it over to that, because it's a virtual machine. It's quite easy to actually just kind of click and drag. So that is a good thing. So, Dell Latitude C640. just gonna, I'll just copy that over here. Programs, drivers. So here we go, we're copying files over at the desktop, which is off screen. Excellent. And then I'll just close out of that. Well, out of the window on the server, not out of the server entirely. And then what I can do is I just kind of go to programs. It's mapped on the network drives. It doesn't actually show the... Actually, I'm not sure, I think. I mean... I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm using Active Directory on Windows 2000. I'm pretty sure of it. You know, I set it up. But I wonder if for legacy versions it has a batch login script. Because that's what it does when I'm on Windows 98. Or 95 or 3.1. Or ME. But, Dell Latitude... Holy icon. Dell Latitude C640. So basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to install hopefully these, I know these drivers say Windows XP on the tin, but usually 2000 and XP drivers are packaged together. So I'm hoping that is the case on here. Okay. I wonder if it disconnected me from the network for a wee bit. That was a bit silly to try and install drivers over the network. Don't do that, children. What you do, you copy it to your local system. There you go. So I think what I will do is I will install all these drivers off of camera, and then, you know, and I'll probably install a couple of applications as well, and then I will report back. So until then. So all the drivers are now installed with the exception of the wireless driver. There's a surprise. And I've checked the hard disk and it seems to be tickety boot. I just don't know why the system, you know, is on such a go slow. I think it seems to be okay now. It's getting there. Probably because I just, you know, installed the chipset drivers and probably needed a restart. But I'm going to install Service Pack 4 and see if I can kind of hack the network driver into going. Network controller and PCI device. I would probably say that that's a modem. I will need some drivers for that. And Windows 2000 drivers should be, you know, pretty simple to get for this machine. Yeah. PC Tel modem driver. Yeah, I did wonder about that. It's yeah, that's for Windows 98 only. So I will need to go to Dell's website and pick up some Windows 2000 drivers. And the non-standard wireless driver. That's just the Pro Wireless Network driver. I mean, I'm kind of getting to 6 AM now, and I'm feeling just a wee bit tired. And so Windows 2000 Service Pack 4 has installed. So it's time to reboot the computer. So we'll see how it fares. Well, then. Well, it's still starting. Oh, jings. I think the hard disk could be very slow. I might replace the hard drive with something a wee bit faster. I think it could be a dirty 4200. Or even a clean one. 4200 RPM. And here we go. And it's just found my flash disk drive again. I'm guessing it's updated the mass storage device drivers. So I need the modem drivers, which I should be able to get off of Dell's website. There we are, Windows 2000 Service Pack 4. That's good. Sorted. So, that all said, class not registered. Or I could just, you know, launch that and hope for the best. Installation package cannot be installed on this Windows installer. Right. Now, I do have a trick for that as well. So, let's go to Programs, Legacy Utilities, and we can install quite a recent version of Opera browser to Windows 2000. So, let's do that. And this should be able to run it, because it is after all an XP machine. I mean, obviously the browser will run in Windows 2000, otherwise I wouldn't be using it. But I'm just saying, hopefully the computer will run it as it is a Windows XP computer. Actually, that is going quite quick. Right. Okay. Strike that. That didn't go as well as I was hoping. Okay, so Opera doesn't seem to be working too well on this system. I wonder if there's something else that we might need to test. I mean, I know that version of Opera should work, because I have it running on the server, which is also Windows 2000, and I've had it running on other Windows 2000 boxes, you know, 2000 Professional, obviously. You know, and it's been absolutely fine. So I don't know what is the big idea here, but I actually quite fancy mem testing this system. So that is what I'm going to do now. Because, you know, if I find that the memory modules are a bit broken, then that could give me some answers. So, in order to run memtest, I've burnt it to a CD. I've got memtest 6.10. So basically, what I want to do, restart my computer and, you know, just literally boot from the CD-ROM. I must admit, I'm a wee bit disappointed. I think mostly because, yeah, I know this video's up late. I mean, if it turns out the memory modules are good, then obviously that will send me homeward to think again. You know, it'll be like, well, that install of Windows 2000's a wee bit too quirky, so no, this is going to take a wee bit, so yeah, I will leave you there and I'll come back with the results. Sitrep. The memory all seems to be fine. I did get some Windows 2000 specific drivers for this machine. They're up on the server now, so what I am going to do is I'm actually going to boot back into Windows. I'm probably going to go ahead and install them, at least the chipset ones and what have you, the SMCIO controller drivers, kind of stuff like that. I mean, I'll need to install the modem drivers, and then, you know, just get everything up and running. I've also downloaded Windows Installer 3.1, so hopefully I can install the Wi-Fi drivers as well. Maybe just, you know, if I have to uninstall Opera, and then, you know, I'll have a system that works. So while I'm at it, I also have a BIOS update as well, should I need it. So what I will do here is I'm just going to drivers, Dell Latitude C640, Windows 2000, and the BIOS. I mean, I should have just used Windows 2000 drivers to begin with. But hey, live and learn. While I'm doing that, while I'm copying all that lot over, what I think I'll do is go to Legacy Utilities and then just install Windows Installer 3.1. I'm going to be honest here, I've never seen it install like that before. But there you go, there's Windows Installer 3.1 installed. And all the other drivers copied over. So basically now it's just a case of getting them installed and what have you. Okay, so we're booted back up, and this application must be installed using the Intel Pro Set Wireless Installer. This application will now exit. Now let's see if this works. No, it does not. Just like, class not registered. Now, I reckon I could probably get the drivers, just the drivers themselves installed, but I reckon doing so without some kind of a logon client would be a wee bit daft. Well, a wireless client, I mean, could always use McAfee's wireless security. Oh, and it's found it. There we go. We have wireless. Well, yep, nope, we do. It's there. There's just no way of really utilizing it. But it is there and it is installed. I just kind of need the Intel. Just kind of need the Intel app to work, you know, the... Oh well. That's absolutely fine. What I can do as well is install the PCTEL modem. And there it's found it. And then this is taking a while to install itself. And it is the right driver. Just I got it from Dell's website. Oh, but there it is. PCTEL V92 MDC modem. Oh, nice. That'll maybe just kind of live here forevermore now. So, Intel chipset drivers. and Opera. Maybe I'll just uninstall that actually. So that is the basic Windows install. What I will do, I think this video's run on long enough now, so I think the last thing I will do before I go is I will install Windows Media Player 9, so that we actually have a shortcut on the desktop to this program. And I'll install IE6 separately, I think. I'll do that myself. But with all that said, I would like to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry it's been a bit late and a bit lackluster. But there you go, it's actually deleted the Windows Media Player icon. Yeah, that's really good, guys. So there we go. And now it's back. But I hope you've all enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe. And also, please feel free to like Videos on Frontier on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. But that said, for now, thank you for watching my video, and please do join me for my next one. Goodbye.